Log recording, 6:09 in the morning. It's the 26th of November, 2024. Well, I had been watching different TV shows just to keep me away from the political and also sometimes the local news, especially when they keep covering the political. But at times when I'm watching these shows, they're covering things that probably would have come across in my own lifetime. One of which is dealing with reunited family members. Excuse me one second. Yeah, reunited family members. The major one is the one I've been sticking with for all my life, since the age of 5. It's never been easy dealing with that. One act can bring about a lot of changes that are negative and destructive in one way or another. A lot of anger held onto, a lot of confusion, to where the person who did abandon, actually the person who walked away, really becomes a lifelong target. And eats at a person all life. Changes behaviors around where I'd be questioning my own ability to, if it was going to happen. And not at this late stage in the game. I don't know if I'm mature enough for that one anyway. Bothering a family from my own. Or let alone take responsibility of someone. It's bad enough I was doing it for. My dog right now as it is having more health issues and I gotta take it to the vet for that one. But what gets to me is if I'd be responsible for another human being, other than myself. I've been responsible taking care of Big Brother, and prior to him, along with Dave's help, taking care of Mama. Morning sniffles and stuff. Would I be able to deal with it? Would I be able to do it? Dave a long time ago said I was good with kids because baby didn't scream and yell in my arms. And I tried to deal with kids just not screaming and yelling at them. If I was really angry and not liking kids, maybe I would have. I've seen the older people. I've seen older people do that in my lifetime when I was growing up. And then I've seen the stereotypical manner of it. To where the older folks just yell and scream at the kids because they don't know what else to do except yell and scream at the kids. For whatever reasons. And then we see it play out time and time again in one form or another. I keep asking myself, would I be doing the same damn thing too? And I keep seeing myself in an environment of kids on how they're trying to get reactions from people left and right. Growing up in this apartment for nearly a decade or more, I see this thing. I have seen, been through situations where I didn't like the younger generation at all. Didn't matter which year they were growing up in, I didn't like them, period. One second. Growing older isn't easier either for us older parts. Had to deal with medical conditions that pop up. Seeing the younger kids playing the same games as their older siblings because they were taught by the older siblings or their older generation. Occasional pounding on the door late at night, just when you're trying to go to sleep. Ring the doorbell, and then you hear them laughing as they're running away. or just running away, period, just so they can get a rise out of you. To which I just ignore them. You're going to play the head games, I'm going to ignore your ass. If it was truly a medical emergency, or if it was truly an emergency, they would have been pounding on doors on people they thought I knew or recognized. But playing the head games doesn't make trust. So sometimes I steer clear. If I recognize maybe one or two of them, maybe I'll reach out. Or if they reached out to me, then I'll reach back. But I don't play the head games with them regarding you do this one more time and I've seen that act done so many damn times in my lifetime. Sometimes I will ignore it. I've had arguments with kids over stupid things such as pounding on machines in the washroom. And people wonder how come their machines are broken. Yeah. Kids are not supervised. Gets to a point you're supposed to trust them, right? Now they're running around breaking machines. And caught if they're doing it. Who's going to catch them? You'd be surprised who watches what. But that being said, would it make me a better father if I was able to deal with the kids? Starting to realize what kind of anger people would have against the kids. Blaming them for lack of attention and not cooperating or not doing this or doing that. And yeah, there'd be a few adults out there that'd be going nuts, I imagine. Not to mention their own parents doing the same damn shit. It's no wonder they act out. My environment currently is not conducive to anybody. It just isn't. I got no other sleeping places. It's constantly filled with bugs. And I don't know if I could be able to deal with the brats. If they're going to be being bratty and disrespectful outside, how would they be able to deal with a stranger's house? Sometimes they remind me too much of me that I should have been a long time ago and wasn't. I mean, yeah, I was maybe a little bit bratty when I was a lot younger, but you mature, and such things as trying to TP someone's house, not good. Or knocking on people's doors and get a rise about their getting pissed off and hiding. No, I never did that to anybody either. I wasn't allowed. But I didn't feel the need to do it anyway. I wanted friends, but I didn't want friends. Sometimes I liked being in the company, but then I felt like an isolator at the time. It was never easy growing up with me. Especially if you wanted to be a friend. Or try to be anyway. And push people away. I just avoided. I guess maybe some people kept thinking about me being a special case, a problem case. Because I wasn't acting normal enough. But how would a guy who would, growing up all this time, be able to deal with a biological entity coming into his life and claiming to be the dad? And how would that meeting go? I mean, seen the shows, seen how things came out. Either positive or negative at that point. Depending on how the writers would spin their story. But in reality, that's the thing, sometimes you don't get to see as much. Unless, of course, it really goes sour, and then you get to see it on the evening news or in the daily news of your local area, how stuff goes. Some people are loved enough that they get wanted posters or someone chasing after their kid, trying to see if they're still alive and still okay, and ends up dead. I heard about that story. All the way from Hawaii to New York. Only the father passes away in Los Angeles. And no one's heard about the daughter. Even if the daughter's an adult herself. Doesn't matter. Family's family. And that's the hardest thing for me to deal with is family. Missing my own family is triggering enough as it is, but seeing things like that. It was admirable and courageous for the guy to go after his daughter, to die in the process. And I keep thinking, what happened to her? Did she get killed along the way? And that would be tragic enough right there anyway. I don't think I'd be able to deal with that kind of news. Because I don't think I'd be able to deal with it. People are worrying about all the external stuff of other people are going to be doing this and other doing that. But to hear about a father dying in the process of trying to find his daughter. 1 second, please. I guess the older I get, I'm getting more allergic to something. No, because I've been thinking that for the past few days. Ever since I heard about the story about the daughter who's on the way to New York. Either to live there, move there, or visit there. And disappears along the way, and so the father goes out looking. Just to pick up the trail, see what's going on. And in the process, ends up dying in Los Angeles. One of the stops where she was supposed to be going. That's a lot of love and devotion. That's family for you. But it still gets to me that it's tragic enough that he passed. If it was done by foul play, or if it was done by otherwise, other means. I still have to check with the local news on that one. But it still tugs at my heart on that one. There was a time in my life throwing at my brother out of a home. Not before he passed, but it was long before he passed. My brother had been an alcoholic and a drug abuser. Gotten to the point at home where we had to toss him on me. It hurt like hell because we had an argument, major. One of those major ones that you would have to take some time off to cool, right? Well, he was going to be taking time off for the cooling permanently. Just about packed up clothing, threw some stuff together in his car, and took off. 1 or 2 days, Ma and I were fuming about it and discussing the situation, and they had a contact with people that we knew that would keep an eye out. If they found him, let us know. But we didn't hear anything. But I was engaged for a short time, and I guess Ma was too, trying to find him. And we couldn't find him. We couldn't find him. Then one day when Ma's at work, he comes home. He already had his misadventures, and to the point where he was beyond sick and tired. He was almost walking dead. And I almost threw him out again. But after talking with Ma, I kept him home until he started his journey with the recovery. But just the distance of it, just dealing with not seeing my brother again, I just had a hard time dealing with that one. When you have an argument with a sibling, when you have an argument with your brother or sister or cousin, it's hard as hell because the harder you argue, the more you want them to see your point of view. But Was there a way that you're trying to tell him that you cared about that particular relative? Sick and tired of the actions my brother was taking against Ma and me. And it was still hard as hell. But somewhere in there, we both loved him. He was my mama's firstborn. He was my big brother. And you didn't turn apart. You didn't turn away family. As much as we, during that time, it was heated argument where we were going to. And then Dave decided he wasn't going to deal with it. In a drug-induced mind, he went out. He went out. He had one misadventure after another until he ends up home. And me not wanting to deal with him at that moment because it brought out all the argument. He brought out all the anger. But I really didn't touch on the love, did I? But if I really did touch on the love, I wouldn't be having an argument with the guy. I'd be hugging the bastard. But no, I held on to my anger, my pride, my ego, and everything else. I wasn't going to deal with him and his damn antics. But Ma wanted him home. I wasn't going to argue with her. We had to find a way to help him. So I went to a meeting, got contact, gave my brother the number, gave him an ultimatum. You call him in the morning or else you leave permanently. He called. I'm glad he did. And he had to keep talking to that person for the past couple of days. Don't care about the phone bill. So what happened? So I'm glad. Now I'm glad. Back then I was still unsure about him. It took him a long while to earn back the trust. But that's a kid growing into a man dealing with another man whose life's already been shattered. Now he's got to help pick up his brother. But that doesn't make me a good dad. It made me a good brother. And I did all I could for him. But I couldn't say the same thing about me having a kid or me dealing with a father. And how would I deal with that one? How would I be able to deal with that one? If my old man came back, if he came back, or maybe if I heard word. Here I am, pushing 59 next year. And my old man's gone. Been gone out of my life since the day I was born. And I never knew him physically. I never saw him physically. Just only heard someone on the phone identifying or trying to hide up the fact that he was my father. And he hangs up and I hadn't heard from the guy since. Hell of a memory to have and a hell of a thing to go through when this is the season for Thanksgiving and this is the season for Christmas and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think it would be Christmas. I think by the time when it's coming to my end, I still won't have any information on him. Maybe he was just there to be the sperm donor and that's about it. Maybe in a way, if my life was supposed to be having meaning, maybe it was making influences on anybody else, positive or negative, or maybe something. Something to demonstrate to other people that maybe life was worth living. I mean, I haven't shown any enthusiasm of telling people, yeah, go out there, go out there. No, I've been dealing with the later half of my life with the memories and agonies and everything else going on. I'm dealing with the emotional stuff instead of just trying to move on forward like everybody else keeps pushing everybody else to do. But don't you understand? You gotta do this, you gotta do that. You only live once, you gotta do this. How is what's going on? You gotta do this. Yeah, what's hard enough. Hard enough to dealing with the emotional outbursts. It's hard enough dealing with the emotional aspects of it all. And the memories that are tied into it. If there was things to do to make amends, maybe. Or if my biological sperm donor came back trying to make amends here. Not the hardest damn thing. Something like this I probably would talk about during Father's Day, you know? How to be a great dad or how to be a lousy dad. I'm among many who have had the biological sperm donors just leave them for one reason or another. Some come back, others don't. And if they do come back, are they better or are they worse? I'm not going to categorize or classify that one. It's up to the individual whether or not he's going to be a royal pain in the ass or does he actually want to have a family and care about them. I can't say the same thing about my father since I'm already jaded so long throughout my lifetime. Watching shows with happy endings, the Hollywood stuff, or tragic endings, or just an ending that's not satisfied, just ambiguous, makes me think about my own life. I hadn't done anything to increase the surplus population, or let alone add more aggravation. I chose not to be my own dad, or a copy of him. Maybe I would have been a better father, but right now, no. And I regret every single day. Because I haven't put myself in that kind of vulnerable position, and I didn't want to have that hurt revisited all over again. Not for a kid abandoning me, but me turning the tides and me abandoning. I can't do that. I can't do that to anybody, not even to myself or anybody else for that one. I don't want to. I can't do that. That's why I don't have. That's why I don't have. I don't want to end up like my father. That's a lot of fear. That's a lot of aggravation. I wanted a family so damn bad I hurt like a son of a bitch. But hijacking people? No, that's not my style. So, stay here and hurt. Stay here and hurt and not deal with them. I may be a fool, I'm an idiot. I know that. But I don't want to cause any more pain and havoc to anybody else for that matter. Sometimes I know what it's like to look and feel like an angry old man because I see them. And they got their own stories, they got their own hells to go through. Or they've already gone through and they can't deal with it anymore. They lost someone they loved, changed them, tossed someone else out, or lost them by passing. It's never easy. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, anybody else could go through it, right? They say it's just things in life. Sometimes, but they all have reasons. They all have reasons. And mine are affecting me. So. Yeah, something I had to get off my chest because of things I was seeing and they were triggering me left and right. Why not? I'm really triggered enough with a hell of a lot of crap. Why not one more? One more dynamic to go through, huh? Yeah.